welcome to today's Dashcam Diary of a Disabled with me, Chronically Happy. Right now I am heading from my I did my chiropractor appointment this morning. I went to Walmart to do a tad shopping to get my dad some more cream cheese and me some more silly Halloween decorations to make into bracelets and necklaces. I have so many already, I need to just use them all. And, I probably won't use them all this year. I'll stick them around for next year. It's all good. I don't have much time today, but I'm going to take a lot of my stuff over to my friend's house tonight. I'm going up to Portland. I'm finally going to hang out with my friend, Celia, that cannot be out in the UV light at all. I'm trying to be there for her. I'm doing a test run tonight to see if I'm able to stay the night in her house comfortably enough. So then when she has surgery in about 9 days, 10 days from now, I'll be able to stay with her and take her to her appointment and her surgeries and really help advocate for her. I want her to know that I'm there for her. And that's all anybody really wants, is just to have one person really care and to be there for them. I listened to this podcast yesterday morning. Not necessarily a podcast, it was a live summit from the big head honchos in Washington about the VA and soldier suicide and awareness and what we need to do as a community, because community is what really helps building your own community of people that are similar interests. And veterans, we're all a breed of our own, and we really do need more veteran places to hang out. As the older generations of veterans are starting to disappear, we really do need to have a younger generation of veterans take over. None of us of my generation are really interested in doing anything. It seems like it takes until we're old as F to really get over our own BS about what we feel about the military and how we served and what happened while we served. And I'm very thankful for everybody that votes in the election. Me personally, I do not believe in a two-party system, so as soon as we open up to more than just left and right, if we had an independent major nominee, I would vote for that person, and I vote for them every time. So it's almost like really throwing away my vote. But it's not really. It does help the statistics of elections, but I really don't want to have a part of it right now. I would much rather focus on myself, not deal with all the extra BS of all the political stuff going on right now, which divides our nation like crazy. I don't want either candidate to win. I really don't. I don't want either one to win. And so I think there's 3 groups out there, as my friend was kind of trying to talk to me about it yesterday. Of course, there's always extremists on every end of it all. There's always extremists. But you have these MAGA Trump supporters, then you have true Republicans, and then you have these liberal woke people, and then you have Democrats, like Spider. What would win the popular vote? What would win the electoral vote? He did put up, my friend is a political science major. He's all about military and history and guns and the justice system and, trying to hold those accountable for what they do. I love my investigative journalist friend. I love that he's so passionate about what he does, and he loves what he does. love. So it keeps them in the game, and it keeps them at it. But luckily, he's an adult. He makes better decisions now. But if it wasn't for his wife, I don't know if he'd be as kosher as he is today. Just straight up honesty there. He can be level-headed, but he can lose his temper. And then he gets stuck in the cycle of his negative self-talk and, his overall despise of humanity, because he deals with the worst of the worst on a daily basis with the court system, and he goes to court to see and report on these high-profile murder suspects within our area and our state. He reports on that stuff on the daily, so he sees the worst about humanity in society every day. So no wonder he's a homebody and he likes to stay home. I've been trying to understand people, to understand where they're at mentally, by asking important questions about, like, do you really hate all people? Like, do you really? Like, more times than not, I hear people say that they just hate people and they just love their animals. So what has happened to them in their lives that they don't want friendships? Because a lot of their friendships, it sounds like, are trash people in their lives. You attract what you are. So if you have more positive influences in your life and more positivity around you, are you really necessarily going to say that you hate people if you are actually thoroughly enjoying the people that you're around? If you're not enjoying the people that you surround yourself with, of course you're going to hate humanity. Of course you're going to be negative. Of course, we are products of our environments. So it's up to you to put yourself in the environment or not. If you choose to put yourself in a negative environment without boundaries, it's going to get to you. Maybe not immediately, maybe it will, but products of our environment, people. And so choose to put yourself in situations that are going to bring you happiness and not distraught and stress and anxiety. But how do you come back from that? How do you come back from something like childhood trauma and then like people trauma? I don't know how one comes back from that. My journey has been very long and steady, and it takes a lot of years to learn boundaries, using your own boundaries to not allow people that are energy vampires to take all your energy away from yourself. It's those low vibrational people that will pull everybody else down with them. They don't want to be miserable by themselves. They want to be miserable with company. So they will do what it takes to bring you down with them. And for people that are already down in the dumps, there's those people that like to hermit and stay away from people because they're afraid of what they're going to say or do to that person. So they would much rather isolate. When really you need to reach out to a community that is accepting of you for who you are. And I've been searching my entire life to find some beautiful souls like myself that are giving, that are trying to be better and hype each other up instead of bringing each other down. And I found a few of those people last weekend. Not this last one, but the weekend before. Like, my goodness. I'm so happy that I found people on my same wavelength, but they've got issues too. bitter people out there that are just so upset about their lives and with how their lives have turned out. It's not what they had planned and what they had wanted. I gone through that hurt and all of those feelings for so long after I got medically discharged from the Navy in 2010. Here it is 14 years later, and I'm finally like really in a better point in my life where I can try and separate, you know, the good from the bad, what's been beneficial and what has brought me backwards. A lot of self-reflection, and you can't get that if you're surrounding yourself around people nonstop, and then you take these other people's opinions of you or advice that they want to push upon you that you don't ask for, unsolicited advice, when really a lot of people just want somebody there to listen. They don't want anybody to give advice. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do. Somebody with a lot of PTSD and a lot of issues and anxiety like I've got, just spit out the truth. Spit out your truth. Because I guarantee that somebody's going to find your truth relatable. My truth is relatable to me. It's been my experiences. But I'm not letting those negative experiences or negative interactions with other people dictate my anxiety levels. I'm not going to let them dictate how I feel about myself. Continue to help yourself think about being alone for a while. Stop seeking out somebody to date nonstop. It will come when it comes. And I want it to be natural when it comes to me. I want it to be a friendship. I want them to be my best friend. And then hopefully, 2 to 3 years later, I realize, oh my gosh, this best friend is who I really love romantically. Like, I develop romantic feelings for. And that is the only way I will ever get into another relationship. You have to test my friendship first. And if we can get along as friends for a certain period of time, and then it leading to falling in love with each other, that is what I'm after. I'm not closed off to love, but I'm closed off enough to be, hey, if I can't have a best friend and then somebody that I can rely upon, then I'm not ready for any kind of romantic relationship. I want to form bonds that are unbreakable. And it takes a lot to break my boundaries down to the point where I say F you and I'm not tolerating your negativity any longer. It's one thing if somebody asks you what's wrong and they fully invest in asking what is really wrong versus somebody just word vomiting on you and expecting you to be ready to take in whatever it is you tell them. People need to ask if they have time to talk, if they have time to just listen, to understand where I'm at. Nobody really takes the time to do that. Nobody takes the time to reach out to me specifically in messaging to be like, hey, what is it that I could do for you to help you get through the situation that you're going through? How hard is that? How hard is it to check up on somebody you haven't heard from or talked to in a long time? It's extremely hard because this society is overstimulated. We are nonstop inundated with information, overstimulated weather, and the need to not be able to get away from phone calls. Like, there's no true vacation. Like, back in the day, all we had were no cell phones. I mean, I feel like an old person now. Back in my day, I had to walk on miles, snow, water, up a freaking mountain to get to school. But back in my day, we didn't have cell phones. So we only had the home phone that goes to the whole house. So when nobody's at their house, the next best thing to do is go knocking on their door. Where these days, if you just come unannounced to somebody's house, that really pisses people off. But if they don't answer their phone, and now our phones are really not an excuse unless it's dead, which is very well maybe the case for some people sometimes, why I can't reach them, or other people can't reach others. But urgency is phone calls, and you can get back to me when you're available with text, and we can have an ongoing conversation a week later about the same topic without skipping a beat. We pick up where we left off. So anyways, I have all this crap in my car because I'm finally going to my storage unit to drop some of this off. It really got to me with it being in the garage. It was in my parents' storage shed. I brought this stuff home to go through it, and I did go through a little bit of it, and I did get rid of a whole bunch of picture frames. But one of my goals is to get a picture printed out at Walmart this week for my friends that I have at a baby shower this weekend coming up. I took pictures of him and the boys before they got into their as they were getting into their wedding attire. I mean, they were dressed, but they were doing all their makeup and stuff for the wedding a couple years ago. And I never gave them those photos, and they've harassed me a couple times for it. But I really need to get on that. I also need to write my friend in prison a letter. It's my turn. He hasn't written me back in a while because I haven't written him back. So it's my turn. It's on me. I don't want him to think I've forgotten about him. It's just, I've been dealing with so much. But I really do need to sit down and write that letter. So, I mean, I've got to schedule that into my plan in the next week. But anyways, I just wanted to jump on my soapbox here and just, things will happen when they're meant to be. And I fully believe that. I just hope everybody else has a fantastic day. I'm going to enjoy my day the best that I can. We're at 50 degrees outside right now with the sun. I'm going to unload and load up my storage unit and get on my way. Make my phone calls. Get ready to go spend the night at my friend's house up north. So, bye guys.